All right. I've just got this, and I kind of wanted to show it off to brag it up because when I saw the various videos, people were making it sound like it was so simple a child could do it, this kind of thing. And actually, it has got a lot going on here. Here's this basic patch, and if we put you're going to need an extra module here, a sequential switch of some type, and I'm pretty sure this 962 Behringer thing is at $33, is the world's least expensive, least extravagant 3-input module, a sequential switch, and basically it turns you've got 5 steps here in 4 different rows, and they all step at the same time unless you put these red things on the top or gate out. So if you put take your first gate and put it into the shift of a switch, sequential switch, and then each of these rows outputs go into the inputs of the switch, and the output of the switch goes into your oscillator. You can then go, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you've got 15 steps here that you can use. And you could use up to 20 if you had a more elaborate switch, because they make them, to handle more inputs type of thing. So there's that. It is possible to chain the different rows. Okay. So this is the gate out. These are 10 volts each one. They just give a pulse. And this is the advance. And you can run it with this, or you can run it with the pulse. Or with the reference, rather. I'm not sure what the reference is for. It's a slightly different waveform, and it's kind of just an extra clock out if you needed a clock for something else. So the tempo, the time, it gets gets set by the internal time thing here. Now this is pretty interesting. You can feed a signal into this, and it will add or subtract to the tempo. And of course, if you feed this with an intermittent signal, it'll speed the BPM up and slow it down, speed it up, slow it down. So you can kind of make, you can kind of give it rests or ties using this kind of a signal. So if we get rid of this, now that we've, seen an example of this switch, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Or you can slow it down. So 12 o'clock is no change at all, counterclockwise. And of course, you can change this however you want to. So you can give it different beats this way, different cadences and rhythms. It's not just the same sequencer as other. It's not the same as other sequencers. I think you'd have to work pretty hard to get something like this out of the old System 100 type of the basic sequencer. I've forgotten what it's called, but so it's pretty interesting, that aspect of it. And now we're just hearing it run at its Okay, I guess it does make a difference. It does change the pulse, but only using this input. So, pretty interesting that way. And of course, now we've got 4, but if you're on 5, it just sticks on 5. Now it'll go 5 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that kind of thing. And of course, these are adjustable as well. So we could come out of here and go into here. Again, we get a different cadence, a different rhythm. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. And this one is even weirder. It'll make it run backwards. So if you read the manual, it'll tell you that this thing that says analog it accepts voltages from 0 to 10 in different kind of tiers. So like I think 0.75 of a volt to I guess a volt and a half or something like that will stop us on 1. And if we give it a little more, like, 2.5 to 4 volts or something like that, we'll stop it on 2. That's 3, which is somewhere around 5 volts or so. And that's 4. And anything above that will be on 5. We'll stop it on 5. And see, you can go backwards and forwards like this. So if you have that's, I guess, about it. This puts out 0 to 10 volts. Each one of these knobs do this. These gates put out 10 volts. You can run this advanced from a different deal like this. So this is a rise and fall. This is basically a triangle, like when they're parallel like this. So that should be pretty consistent. So, okay, every time I do this, we get a trigger. So turn it on, turn it off kind of thing. I'm glad I figured that out finally. So there's a lot you can do with this in terms of getting weirdo rhythms, running it with different LFOs, different triggers, a different sequencer even would probably be pretty weird. Well worth pointing out that all the Buchla stuff really sounds excellent when you push it into audio range and to turn it into its own oscillator kind of.